Wisconsin Republican Senator Ron Johnson was recently speaking with Hugh Hewitt, who names their child Hugh? Like, I think that needs to be adjudicated. Like, we need to address that at some point. We'll get to that later. But Ron Johnson has some thoughts about freedom and which party actually fosters it in America. Let's watch.
We're conservative, so we really are the live and let live party. Yeah, I really don't care what you do. I really, as long as you're not infringing on somebody else's freedom, as long as you're not harming somebody else. I mean, you go live your life, and that's fine. I'm not going to impose the way I live my life on somebody else. But that is, you're exactly right. That is what the left does, which is what is so annoying about the left.
That it's annoying about the left, Jordan, that we force our religious values, our thoughts about reproductive rights, all our thoughts about who should and shouldn't get married, what kind of sex people should have in the intimacy of their own homes. Like, it's the left that does that, right?
Of course, of course.
It's amazing.
He's out of his mind. This is somebody who is on tape saying he just said he initially supported this marriage equality bill in Congress. This is a fight we now need to have because of conservatives in this country. But he said he supported it because he wanted to get people off his back. Then a few weeks later, he said he doesn't. He said climate change is BS. And to that end, a bunch of climate activists made I don't know if you saw this, but a sculpture made out of cow manure and drug it around Wisconsin last week.
Oh, I did
because
not
he said
see
climate
that.
change is BS, and that's obviously not true. And it's just obviously on his comments, it just shows how they will spin everything they're doing and project everything they're doing on the Democrats. Because at the end of the day, he supports this attack on reproductive freedoms. He supports the Dobbs decision, that's what they want. And now people lose individual rights and freedoms and bodily autonomy. And that is Republicans exacting their will on other people and saying, my religious values are now how you must live your life. And that's just patently wrong.
What I'm always impressed by, I'll use the word impressed, is how they can lie about things with such a straight face and also without providing a shred of evidence to back up their argument. So there was nothing provided in that argument to, I guess, bolster what he's saying. I thought, oh, maybe he might get into, oh, the left wants to censor comedians. I don't know, maybe something. No, he didn't even go there because there's nothing. I mean, parents are getting investigated for providing gender affirming care to their transgender children in Texas. Why is it Texas's business how parents decide to respond to the fact that their children have identified as transgender? Like, I think the parents are better suited to make that decision along with their children. But no, they're being investigated. They're threatening to take kids away from their parents if they're kind enough to take their transgender kid to therapy if they feel like they might need therapy. That's insane. That is insane. That is forcing whatever bigoted, disgusting political beliefs you have about transgender people onto others. We've already talked about the abortion thing. I mean, women not having the ability to make decisions about their own bodies in huge portions of this country, that's not something the left did. That's something the right has been fighting for over the last 50 years. Carrie Lake, Republican running for governor in Arizona. She made the grave mistake of saying abortions should be legal but rare, something along those lines. That she said that recently because she was thinking about extreme cases, right? Rape, incest, the mother's life is in danger. Conservatives jumped down, like they attacked her, okay? Just jumped her immediately. And she's like, I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it. No. We should have this. Do you watch House of the Dragon?
No.
Okay, never mind. Let's move on.
I'm sorry.
Anyway, it's just weird medieval garbage that they force on all of us. And then they have like the gall to say, but we believe in freedom, everybody.
Right, I hope this hurts them in November. I really hope it does. Because even some of the more center-leaning conservatives don't agree with this. And I really hope they show up and vote with their heart. Because that used to be what people would just check the box for.
Yeah.
There were a ton of single-issue voters who would vote conservative just because they wanted, restrictive abortion measures. So I really hope that people see through this, because once it became a little too real for people, you started seeing a wave of voter registration, you started to see public opinion polling shift, you started to see a wave of activism and a flood of donations. People really started to think about, oh, this got really serious really fast. So I really hope that people talk to your friends and family who are conservative and who don't agree with the Dobbs decision and don't think that a nationwide abortion ban is something we should have, and really just try to convince them to get out and vote, because that is something that is totally within reach. If we get a bigger Senate majority and control the House, we can absolutely codify Roe. It is within reach, but if we sit out, we're only guaranteed for this to get worse.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, but to be fair to Republicans, they do have an important rallying cry about furries, and
oh, that's equally important.
Yeah, totally.